Jumping into the number 5 spot of the top 5 best weighted vests, this is a vest from PACEARTH priced between $26.99 up to $83.99 depending on the weight. Oh, and if at any point during the video you guys want to check out any of the 5 weighted vests in this video, there's Amazon links below for the US, UK, Canada, and international links. But this PACEARTH vest is the best value on the list. If you want the cheapest possible weighted vest, this is the one that I would recommend. However, even though it's a great value, you do get some negatives, and one of those being there is no adjustable weight here. So right at the buy process, you need to decide your weight. They have options all the way down from 4 pounds up through 6, 10, 12, 16, 20, 25, and even 30 pounds. However, the flip side of that is that this has the construction that is simpler without as many flaps and Velcro, making this a lot more durable than I expected at this price point. Like you'd think for potentially getting a weighted vest for like 25 bucks, it's not gonna be great, but it's actually pretty good here. For the weight, this uses iron shot sewn inside, and it basically just feels like sand. And the nice part about this is that it forms to your body really nicely and disperses the weight quite well. That's because it's all sewn into the actual vest itself, so what you're wearing is kind of just like a sandbag, and it forms to your body and it doesn't chafe and it's nicely comfortable. Even for like longer workouts, this was impressively comfortable. Now this also does come with a removable phone zipper pouch that you can either attach to your vest or your arm. I found it not very comfortable on my arm, so the vest was the move, but I think that's great that they include that, as well as also including 2 additional foam shoulder pads that you can add so you have a little bit more padding there, which is a nice feature. Overall, an awesome choice for anyone that's a beginner, wants some weight without going crazy heavy, and wants a very comfortable fit for both men and women. Okay, but with that, let's move on to the number 4 spot, which is stepping it up a little bit. This is a vest from ApexUp, coming in at a price tag of $99.99 up to $119.99. Now this steps it up to now an adjustable, like what I would consider a full scale weighted vest, something where you're actually having some serious performance here now. But it's still the best value of adjustable weighted vests. But there are some compromises because of that. The material quality of the vest itself is decent. It feels like it would be pretty durable, but doesn't have the best padding and fitment when compared to some of the others on the list. The comfort and fit here is just not as good as the higher priced vests later in this list, but you're getting the same weight for literally half the price. So that's really the best value here. The most expensive part of the weighted vests is the weights, and this one gives you a lot of weight at a really good price. You have the choice between either 20, 30, or 40 pounds of weight. And again, remember, it only goes up to about 120 bucks. So for 120 bucks, you're getting 40 pounds. That's a lot. Now for the weight, you'd think that they're using the cheaper like sandbag, iron shot bags, but no, this uses like real iron bar weights, which is really cool. Also adjusting the weight and taking them in and out is actually really quick and easy. Now for the adjustments of the actual vest itself, you have a left and right waist strap with a very thin pad over it with plastic buckles that don't really feel like they'd break, but just don't feel premium either. And then that's pretty much it for the adjustment. On top, there's not really any adjustments on top, so you're not gonna be able to raise it or lower it. However, it does have a cool touch with patches on the front. And while this doesn't come with any pouches for your like phone or keys, because you do have that Velcro just exposed designed for patches, you'd probably be able to get like a small pouch that's Velcro, from a different company and just stick it on there. So that's kind of cool. However, overall, if you want the heaviest vest at the cheapest price and don't mind compromising on the comfort and fitment, this is a great value. All right, but with that, let's move on to the number 3 spot. And this is where we enter into what I would consider like A tier, S tier weighted vests now. This vest is specifically from MiR, and this is specifically for women. So if you're a man, skip to the number 2 and 1 spot, because this is just for women. Now this vest comes in at between $91.78 and $217.85 depending on weight, and there's a pretty big gap there. Now this is the best vest for women. This changes the design to make it more comfortable for a woman's body, and from what my girlfriend has told me while using it and testing it, it's way more comfortable than all the other vests that she's used. You have the option of either 10, 20, 30, 40, or even 50 pounds of weight. Now for the weights, this isn't using the cheaper sandbags, this is using the full iron bars. And regardless of the weight you choose, whether that's 20 or 40 pounds, the vest itself will not change. So you can always upgrade in the future and get iron bars directly from MiR that do sell them separately, which is awesome. And that means that for under $100, you can get basically an AS tier weighted vest if right then you don't need a bunch of weight because you want to build up. That's what's so awesome about this vest. If all you need is 20 pounds or less, you're getting this thing for under $100 and then can upgrade in the future as much as you want. That is super nice. Now, the quality of materials and padding especially here is top notch. All the stitching is great, and the huge metal buckles not only look awesome, but they make it quick and easy to put the straps through. Now, this leads us into deeper adjustability. This has Velcro on the shoulder pads and actually separates the entire vest in half. The reason for this is you can adjust how high or low the vest sits on you. So if you have a smaller torso, you can raise it up a little bit. But if you're a taller person, you can drop it down a little bit. Once done, you then use a metal buckle with additional Velcro to then lock that in place. So when you first get this vest, you want to adjust it to your body, and a lot of these adjustments will be one and done, and it'll really customize the fit for you. You mix that adjustment that really allows you to dial it into your body type, and then you have way more padding than the other vests, and this thing becomes really, really comfortable. Haley says it is her favorite weighted vest, and I really think that it's changed her entire experience with using these. So impressive. If you're a woman and either want the best or have had problems with fitment in the past, this is a no-brainer, the best weighted vest for women. But with that, let's move on to the number 2 spot, which is another weighted vest from MiR, but now this is for men or women, and this changes up the design a little bit, adding a zipper. Now this is priced between $117.33 up to $233.11. That's at the time of filming. Prices do fluctuate. Check the links below for current pricing. Now you have different weighted options down from 20 pounds all the way up to 50 pounds in 10-pound increments. But the biggest thing with this vest is it has a zipper in the front. This makes it very easy to take this on and off, especially if you're really weighted down with a lot more weight. After you zip it up, you then use a Velcro waist strap on the left and right. But once that is set, you never have to worry about adjusting it again. There's also Velcro on the shoulder pads, so you can adjust how high or low you want the vest to sit. And then on top of those straps, you pull it to adjust it and lock it in. But again, that's a one-time adjustment. A lot of these things you can really lock in, change for your body type, whether you're a much thinner guy, like I'm not super wide, I'm only 5'8", and overall fairly skinny, and this thing fits me really well, but it also adjusts really wide. So if you're a heavier person or just a bigger guy in general, this is pretty much gonna fit everyone. Not to mention even smaller than I am. So if you're kind of like a teenager or a woman, I really would not worry about the adjustability. It is fantastic here. Now for the weight, this uses iron bars, obviously, and you can also buy these separately. So if you wanna start with the 20-pound variant, it doesn't change the actual weighted vest. So that means if you wanna start with just the 20-pound one and then buy more weight as you increase, well, that's a great way to do it. That's probably how I would do it, to be honest with you, unless you know that you need 50 pounds. Now, the overall durability here feels really good. All the materials are extremely durable and well put together. The zipper is huge and feels incredibly substantial and durable, so not an area of concern that I would say like at all. Everything else is gonna break before that zipper's breaking. The padding here feels comfortable, not quite as thick as the number 1 spot, but still, compared to most cheaper weighted vests, the padding here is really, really good and comfortable. However, the one thing that bugs me is that it doesn't have like a phone pouch or anything like that. I feel like it would have been fairly easy to put that on either the front or maybe the side, but doesn't have that. Really the only con in my opinion. Overall, a great weighted vest for anyone interested in some serious performance. But with that, let's move on to the number 1 best weighted vest. This is the MVRK weighted vest, coming in at a price tag of $209.99 for the 45-pound variant, which I think is by far the best value for this weighted vest. But if you want it very heavy, well, it goes all the way up to 65 pounds, guys. So there's a lot of different weights. Check the links below for all of them. The quality of materials here is top notch. All the stitching is extremely consistent and well done. The padding is quite plush and plentiful, making it extremely comfortable. I was also able to get this quite snug feeling, which is not always easy to do. As well, this doesn't use the cheaper iron sandbags. These use the much better iron bars, obviously. The front zipper pocket is big enough to hold my iPhone 15 Pro Max with a case and some other things really nice placement and super easy to just open up the zipper, and it looks like it's like a waterproof zipper. Don't quote me on that though. My phone's never got wet when I've run in the rain with it on, so yeah. Not to mention that the zipper pocket also has like soft fabric on the inside of it, so you're not gonna scratch your phone screen, which is really great. Now, not only do you get a ton for your money in terms of the amount of weight, but the usability every day is by far the best when compared to all of the other vests in this similar price range. That's really what this vest does so incredible, is the quality of life things. For instance, when adjusting the weight, most of the other vests I tested for this video were extremely finicky when taking in or out the weight. Most of the time the pockets were too tight, so you had to really squeeze them in. This vest though made it super easy to take them in and out. It's just tight enough where it doesn't ever move around at all, but loose enough where it really is easy to slide them in and out of, and the Velcro tightly over it does a good job. Now, what about adjusting it to your body though? Because that's obviously super important, especially when you go up in weight. On this vest, they are very superior. There isn't 1,000 different straps you need to mess with and tighten. It's just one strap on your waist that's adjusting the high quality metal connector with Velcro. And this allows you to unclip, pull the Velcro, then lift the vest off super quickly. It's perfect. It just works so well. Now you'd think with not a bunch of different adjustments, it takes a different approach as opposed to like the MiR, but the fitment here is just not as basic. It curves around your shoulders more. It's just more fitted. Also, if you're a bigger or just different size person, either smaller or bigger than I am, this is very easy to adjust, and it will go very large, like way larger than I would expect. So I wouldn't worry about it even if you're a much bigger guy. Now, the comfort is the biggest part. So let's dive deeper into it. When doing longer runs and workouts, this stayed so comfortable the entire time. It didn't chafe or rub weirdly, and there weren't any pressure points because of the amazing amount of padding. This thing was just so plush, so enjoyable, while still being so breathable. Overall, this is by far my #1 pick for a super high quality, very durable, heavyweight, large capacity weighted vest. But again, if you guys want to check out any of the 5 vests in this video, there's Amazon links below for the US, UK, Canada, and international links. But this is a consumer product review, and I'll see you guys in the next video.